Oh, what else is in here? Oh, this looks exciting. Like it's wrapped up like a little gift. Like, sealed for protection. You've probably, now, oh, look at these little cute little things. Look how cute this is. I love surprises. It's going to be very exciting. Hi, welcome back to the Chinese Medicine Podcast. I'm Mary Hopkinson. I'm a Chinese herbalist and an acupuncturist. So before we get started with this video, I want to welcome all the new subscribers. Great to see the channel growing. I'm so excited. And this video is a sponsored video. This is my first time to do a sponsored video. So I'm going to do it as an unboxing video. So this is my order from my herbal medicine company, Empirical Health. And they have very kindly sponsored this video. And what I said that we would do to make it more fun is I said, why don't you send me some products that you'd like me to talk about in my next order. And it's going to be very exciting. So one of the things I love about their company is that they are very environmentally conscious, like way more than I personally am. And so I feel very good about that. Sometimes when you use a company, it's more about what the person believes, like especially in a small business, that reflects into how you drive your company, how you run your company, what decisions you make. You know, is it about like when you've got to balance out profit margins versus, you know, environmental things and stuff like that, then you know, if you know that someone really feels a certain way, or that's what they believe, they're going to make their company, you know, in that direction. And that's certainly something that Empirical Health do. And so they use recycled stuff, and they always put paper. They have recycled pouches that they send. And they have these eco pouches that disintegrate, that are compostable. That's the word I'm looking for. And so most people watching this channel, let's get this little box out. This is the goodies right here. So there's the paper, and there's my order of herbs and whatnot. This was just a top up to keep me going over the Christmas New Year if something happened. And so these are the granules that I order from them. And I often order the raw herbs from them as well. So you can see behind me, these are real. This isn't a green screen. These are real herbs. And they are just amazing quality. And that's why I use them. So let's put this big box down. So I'm super excited to do this unboxing video for you to show you these products, and we'll talk a little bit about them. And I thought I'd do it right here so you can see. Like I'm like a kid in a candy store, just because I love surprises. Hopefully it's a good surprise. It won't be something like. Anyway, so yeah, I was gonna say it won't be something I'm afraid of. Like once my I don't know if I should tell this story or not, but yeah, once on my birthday, my brothers all ganged up together, my two brothers, and they collected up a huge amount of something I'm really afraid of and put it all in a jar and wrapped it up as a present for me and gave me this Nescafe jar, this giant coffee jar full of these things that I absolutely am terrified of. And like they knew that I was terrified of them because I've just been scared of them my whole life. And they put them all in this jar, and it was like, oh, I was so glad that, like, when I dropped it, because I was just like, I couldn't believe that's what they gave me for I think I was 16 or something for my birthday. And they thought it was the best thing ever. When I dropped it, I was like, I was so glad that the jar didn't smash and these things all came out there. Because that would have required a lot of therapy to kind of get over it. I think that was their way. Anyway, that's what I meant by I hope it's not something I don't like. So I kind of have this fear every time of surprises now. Oh, what's it going to be? Might be a big jar of those things. Anyway, so this is what Empirical Health do. They use this kind of recyclable and environmentally friendly. They're very environmentally friendly, conscious business. Now, most people watching this channel are either Chinese medicine students or Chinese medicine patients. Like you might be a patient of an acupuncturist or a herbalist. So what I want to sort of present to you by this sponsor is this is a company that you can ask your practitioner about, because you can't buy these products, you know, directly off the shelf, because they need to be prescribed by a practitioner. So these are some of the things that Empirical Health do. So I'm super excited. The first thing's Guaja, of course. And this is the new range that they have, which is organic herbs. Now, I've ordered these a few times, and I have a herbal tea company, and I put this in my herbal tea. And what I love about this product, let me put it right up close for you, is it makes beautiful photos, that's for one. But secondly, they've cut up really small. And there's a few reasons why that might be really good. If you're making herbal teas, for instance, it's fantastic. It means you don't have to cut them up yourself. And they look really nice. So they're very beautiful looking. So if you're going to use it as a herbal tea, let's say, to get a certified organic product that's this good a quality is pretty hard to get. Like, I've bought certified organic cinnamon before, and it doesn't look as nice as this. And certainly Chinese herbal medicine to be certified organic just doesn't exist in Australia. Well, I didn't know it existed until these guys started doing it. So it probably exists. Well, it exists now because they're doing it. So Guaja is one of the fundamental herbs of Chinese medicine, right? It all starts with Guaja. And so this is what's called raw herbs. So if you go to a herbalist and they give you a bag of sticks and leaves kind of thing, and you've got to boil that up, that's called raw herbs. So that would be these kind of things here. Now, if I get sick myself, if it's kind of an everyday sickness thing, let's say, like, not that I get sick every day, but an everyday kind of herbs, I'd use granules. If I get sick with a cold or a flu, I'll just go straight to the raw herbs. Now, what's really lucky is, you might have noticed on this channel, I haven't made many videos this month, and you can hear it in my voice, it's not 100% still, but that won't stop me making videos now. But I had a terrible cough, and it was just so bad that I just couldn't talk properly. Like, it had ruined my voice. And so I just had to kind of stop talking, which was probably a good thing for the rest of the world for a little while. But anyway, what I'm getting at is the power of the raw herbs. When you need those things, you want it to be a good quality. And something that Simon mentioned once before, Simon Feeney's the person that runs this business. He's a doctor of Chinese medicine himself. He did a video, an interview on our channel a while ago. He talked about, like, look, you can be a really good practitioner. You can spend all those years learning about Chinese medicine, but then, and you might get the right diagnosis, you put all that effort in, but then at the end of the day, if you're giving it an inferior kind of product, or there's a better product out there, or the quality of your herbs aren't good, well, then you won't know the result, right? You won't know if you got because the confirmation of the diagnosis is often the effect of the herbs, or the effect of the formula, same as with acupuncture, right? The confirmation is almost the fact that is working. That means, okay, yes, that was on the money. If it's slightly working, or working for some symptoms and not other symptoms, then that kind of indicates, well, part of that formula is working, and the other, there's still other symptoms that need to be addressed with something else. That's often how Chinese herbalists work. Now, that kind of whole system goes out the window if your herbs aren't very good, or the quality isn't good, or the dosage isn't right. Now, lots of people who watch this channel, they're patients of Chinese medicine practitioners, and they're super duper concerned about the quality and the efficacy, and they're more involved than the average patient, because they wanted to get involved by learning a bit about Chinese medicine. And look, I have lots of people I know that watch this channel from countries where maybe herbs are harder to get, or quality is hard to get. And so this would be like what you need to do if you're interested in this after we've done this thing. I promise it won't be too long. Is that you need to contact Empirical Health, and I'll put their link in the description below because they're sponsoring this video. You can contact Empirical Health about your herbalist getting access, or your acupuncturist. Some acupuncturists use Chinese medicines, herbal medicines in different forms as well. You can contact them about your Chinese medicine practitioner getting access to the herbs, or find out that information and give it to your acupuncturist or your herbalist. Another option is that if you jump onto their website, there's a worldwide list of suppliers that they supply, and that they would recommend that use the majority of their herbs. Now, right, so let's just get on with it. So Guaja, this is awesome. We could just do a little bit of crinkling, ASMR style. Crinkle this up in your ear. We won't do that. Okay, so we'll just pop that there. These things are awesome. I love these little flyers because they kind of let people know. So every time I make an order, they pop these things into the box so that you can, you know, then give them to your patients or just have them. Sometimes patients don't want to take them, they just want to read about it. And then they know what the quality of their herbs are. So this is the only company in Australia, and they supply things worldwide. I don't want to say the only company worldwide, because I don't know everything about everything. But they're the only company in Australia that has their own independent testing system. So that's what I want to talk about. Oh, wow. One of my favourites, Bancha Sheshintang. It's such a great formula. And so these are for practitioners, right? And so this is a giant bag of Bancha Sheshintang. A patient wouldn't need this much. It would come in a different package. It would come in like maybe the practitioners would dispense this out into a smaller container for you, however much you need. But what's good about this is for a practitioner is it's very convenient. It's ready. It's already made. The formula's made, so you don't have to like. It saves you time kind of doing that if you know you're going to give this out. And we'll talk a little bit about raw herbs ground to powder. I have actually got a few videos on my channel already about how to do that for my patients, because there's different methodologies that you use, and there's different reasons why you would use this herb, you know, in there. So we'll talk about that one a bit more in a minute. Not this formula, but how to use these raw herbs ground to powder. These are the only company that tests their herbs independently of any other source, right? So they're not tested in China and then the Chinese are saying, oh, they're okay, they're fine, they're fine. In my other businesses, in my other lives, I've had a retail store where I used to go to China and source products, and I still do that. And there's some really great companies there, but there's also a lot of opportunity for, not just like in any country, look, I'm not having a go at Chinese, but they're not known for their diligence in, like they'll say one thing and it's not really true. Or it's partially true, but they say it like it's fully true. And so there's a distrust there, and everyone knows that, right? That's why there's a distrust there. So what's great about Empirical Health is they test for heavy metals and toxins and things like that, and that's what they call their three-tier testing. They test for over 400 pesticides in these herbs. So this kind of stuff here. And then what this is in here, this is a raw herbs ground to powder. So I'll show you what that is. We'll get it back. So I'm going to show you what this is. So these are, this smells really nice actually. Like it's so deliciously smelling. That is a raw herbs ground to powder. So they're so finely ground. If you're a practitioner, you can always put it into a jar or something like this if that's what you want to do. But so what are raw herbs ground to powder? Maybe I'll make a different video about that. We'll talk about that in this one. But that's what they do. Oh, what else is in here? Oh, this looks exciting. It's wrapped up like a little gift. It's a little gift one. so lovely. It's like a little Christmas present to me. Only certain people get excited about Chinese medicine. And look at that nice environmental gift wrapping. Oh, here's a formula that you'll all know and love. Xiao San. Now, this formula here, this raw herbs ground to powder, that's what this is in here. And this packaging is amazing. I'm going to have to bring it right up close to you. So lots of people, and I'm sure if you've watched this channel, you've probably been given a Xiao San formula before, but you wouldn't have had it in this beautiful bottle. Yeah. Well, you may have. I hope you have. So, really nice. If this is glass, and these containers are completely recyclable, obviously, if they're glass. And what's great about this is, I won't do this too much because it'll just kind of ruin it, but you can pull the sticker off very easily, and then you can reuse the container. So, patients can reuse this. They can bring their containers back to their practitioners to be refilled if they want to. But they can have this beautiful kind of container. It's very heavy duty glass. Doesn't smash very easily or anything like that. It's very, very good. And so this is a formula that you would probably know and love, Xiao San. But instead of getting it in those little pills that have got all the coating on them, and then you've got a big handful of pills and you're kind of taking so many a day, you can do it like this. And what do you do with this raw herbs ground to powder, you ask? Well, glad you asked that question. So what it does is it creates a really tiny like a lot of surface area. So instead of boiling up the herbs like this, and you still have a little surface, like a lot of surface area because they're cut up small, but you have to use a lot of herbs like this, right? So let's say in a Xiao Yao San formula, there might be like 70 or 80 grams of herbs, in a bag of, for one day. Whereas this would be, what you're getting in here is 100 grams, right, of the powder. And you only need to take like 3 to 6, maybe 8 grams a day. It depending on, or like let's say 6 grams a time, depending on what the problem is or how you're using it. Something like Xiao Yao San is like a really common maintenance formula. And a lot of the dose of this would be kind of like, even at a maintenance level, it might be like, 2 or 3 teaspoons a day, right? So maybe 1 or 1.5 teaspoons a day. Maybe when you first start it, you might even have, like sometimes when I've done these raw herb scrubs to powder, like this Bancha Shin Tang, you might even use it at 5 teaspoons. And there's a video on my channel where I've got like 15 grams boiling up in a pot each time. Now that's a lot. That's for like a severe cold or a flu, something like that. Not that this formula is for that, but I'm just talking about the general kind of a way that you would do these. So all of the dosages are left up to your practitioner. So these are products that your practitioner can get. If you're a student, then you should contact Empirical Health and ask them about that. So I know a lot of TCM students, when they get to 3rd or 4th year, they want to start using herbs on themselves. And, like I used to do this. I used to go down to Chinatown and just buy the little pills. It's good to be able to have access to these kinds of things. So you can talk to them about that, and then they can help prepare you so that when you're a practitioner, then you can kind of set up your dispensary and you're kind of familiar with using their products and things like that. So you need to just contact Empirical Health and send them an email or a message on their website and get started with that. So they have all kinds of products. What else do they have? So here's another raw herb that they use. This is their brand Spring Wind. Now, if you're in America, you probably heard of Spring Wind before. They're a really popular company. They're a big company. And that's the company that Empirical Health uses. They're the distributor for Spring Wind in Australia. And the quality is amazing, right? So this is Juhua. Now, chrysanthemum is a really popular herb to use as a tea, right? Let's say just drinking as a tea. Like the Chinese always call it like keep away heatiness kind of tea, right? Mix it with green tea, that kind of thing. The issue is if you just go down to your regular old Chinatown and you get some chrysanthemum, you don't know if it's been filled up with pesticides. Is it has it got heavy metal toxicity? Has it got this? Has it got that? You don't know. When you use these ones, then you know, right? And so practitioners can buy these, and they can they can give them to patients as teas in their clinic. They can give them to patients as in their herbal medicine formulas. Chrysanthemum's a really common herb. It's a really common herb that people use, and it smells so fresh and just and delicious. Let's open this up and have a smell of it. I'll let you have a smell through the camera. How about that? Got my handy pair of scissors this time instead of the Stanley knife. All right, let's have a look. Now, here's a trick for chrysanthemum. If you're a lover of chrysanthemum and you've got some at home, if you keep it in this kind of Ziploc bag and you keep it in the fridge, it'll last for a long, long time. You don't want any moisture getting into it, but you could even keep it in the freezer if you need to. But chrysanthemum easily, in the hot weather, because I'm in Perth, it's very hot, it easily gets bugs in it, like after a long time. Not this won't have any bugs in it, it's so nice. But I'm just saying as a tip, that was for free. So, yeah, because it's been squashed in the bag, it needs a bit of time to kind of come to life. But it's very aromatic. I can smell it from here. So lovely. What a great quality herb. Like, you can just tell by looking at these herbs that the quality is good. And your herbalist will know, because that's what their job is, to like look at things and discern the quality. And they'll be able to tell straight away. So that's chrysanthemum, or Juhua, as we call it in Chinese medicine. Oh, look at these little cute little things. Look how cute this is. This is awesome. So this is another packaging that Empirical Health do, and I think I know what this is. by the size of the bottles because I use these a lot. This is called Shenchi one. This is a pill. And here's another one. Restore the Cycle pill. Now, talk a little bit about these. I might try this one, but I think it's not going to taste so great. Well, let's see if it tastes good. Right. So you can see this cute little packaging here. And you can see this one next to it, like the slightly bigger one. Sealed for protection. Let's have a look inside there. Oh, wow. The smell smells so strong. I kind of know what it's going to taste like. Let's put some in there so you can... There you go. No, it's not reindeer poo. They are honey pearls. So what these are, whoops, is these are the raw herbs, right? Like this is the ground, the original herbs like this, ground into a powder, which would end up being like the powder, and then rolled into a pill. Now I don't know exactly how they do that. Obviously combine it. I'm gonna try this one. I don't think it's gonna really taste that great. Oh, it's not as bad as it's not as bad as I thought it would be. Like, because I know what's in this formula, and I could tell it wasn't gonna. Look, that's. Sorry, I was gonna say that's delicious. It's not. It's not delicious. My favourite one of these is Squager Fulling one. I just eat that like a candy because it's so yummy. And I keep it at my desk, at my editing desk, in case I get a sore back from doing my video editing. So what these formulas do, in terms of function and how they work and whether they're right for you, that's all your practitioner's going to kind of know that and whether that's the right thing for you to have. But what's good about them being like this in this pill way is, look, it's so much more convenient than having to spoon out the powder, mix it with water, drink it down, especially if the taste isn't so great. So you can just get these pills like you saw me do, just put it in your mouth, chew it up and swallow it down. And have a little bit of water afterwards if you don't like the taste. But they've got a little bit of honey with them. So that, like this formula in a powder does not taste great. I'll tell you now. Like, it's just something you have to kind of get down. And if you've had Chinese herbs before, like, sometimes they're great tasting, sometimes they're, not so great tasting. But you just kind of get them down because you're not there for it's not a meal. Like, you're there for the effectiveness of it. But what's good about these is if a patient, let's say you're on this formula and this is the one you need to take, how convenient is it? You can just keep these in your bag. They're there. You can just get them out and have them. All you need is some water to kind of wash it down with. And that's what's great about it. And some of these formulas, like Shenchi one, is a very common like formula as a like a long-term formula, right? So one means it should be a pill. What's great about this company as well, Empirical Health, is they do custom formulas, which means they'll make it special for you. So I'll often send an email with my order saying, can you make this formula and add this in it? Some practitioners want to mix two formulas together sometimes, or they want to take something out for some reason. And so they can make you a whole bag of that stuff for your patients. And then you don't have to do all the grinding. Like all day I'm grinding, blowing my ears out with the grinder sound. You don't have to do all that grinding, which is great. It's very hot in here today in Perth. We've got a couple of things left. Wow, Simon's very generous with this little package here. There's so many things here. And finally, one of the granules. So this is called Huang Qi, probably meaningless to you. But what are granules? So granules are like the raw herbs boiled up, and then there's a few processes that go through it. I'm going to do that because we'd have to take another hour video to explain that. And then out comes a little granule, and a granule is born. There's a huge processing that goes through. So they freeze dry, and it's a powder, and then it becomes a granule. Anyway, lots of patients are used to taking these. So if you've ever been given a tub of herbs, which is like, this kind of thing where you were either told to spoon it into your mouth, or you were putting it into a cup and then mixing it with water and washing it down. For all of my practice, apart from the last 2 or 3 years, this is all that I've used. I've only used granules, and they're very, very popular with practitioners and with patients. They don't take up a lot of room on the shelf. You tend to go through them in a cost-effective way. You're not having a lot of wastage by things going off and things like that. And they're also convenient for patients. So in the end of the day, a patient would get a container like this size. It'd fit in their handbag, fit in their purse or whatever, and they can just take it away. And so this is a very popular product, and a lot of practitioners already know about granules. Why would you use the Spring Wind brand of granules, or that Empirical Health sells? Because of the quality, again, because it's the same quality I was talking about here, where they do the testing outside of China, independent testing, where they are sourcing the highest quality product. So you can make a granule, but if the product at the beginning isn't very good quality, well, you're not going to end up with a very high quality granule. And so you'll notice the difference. Like when I switched to these granules, I noticed a massive difference. And the company I used predominantly before this was still a pretty high company, pretty commonly used company. I still use some of their products because I can't get everything in this company all the time. But what I'm getting at is for myself, so this is the best way to test it on you. If you're a practitioner, I would take, let's say I got a bit of a hay fever is a good example. So there's certain formulas that I would make up for hay fever in granules, because one is probably can't be bothered boiling up a bunch of raw herbs. And if the granules work, well then great, you've solved it. But if the granules don't work, then I would go boil up some raw herbs to take it. So the springtime comes along, and then this time I had this brand, the Spring Wind, for springtime. And I remember using these, and I was like, wow, just the same formula that I've always used. And that's the test of time, right? That's a good test, that's a good indicator, because it's not other variables, it's not the formula, it's actually just the brand of the herbs. I was like, wow, I didn't need to go that next step further and go, oh, this hasn't fixed it all, I'll have to do some boiling up ones. So I would recommend this, and that's what I use for my patients. They're high quality, and it's effective. So I would encourage you, if you're a practitioner, don't let the price of the products put you off. To me, I would rather my patients get better quicker and have that higher quality, and have that knowing that, one, there's a company that's concerned about the environment, and two, there's a company that's concerned about all the things your patients are concerned about, I would say, right? They answer all those questions. So that's one of the reasons why I use them and why I'd recommend them. I don't do these product promotions on my channel very often. In fact, never. This is the first one that I've done, because I'm a big believer in, I'd rather support things that, I'm not here to promote things that I wouldn't just naturally support, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So I hope this has been useful and valuable to you. And if it has, make sure you check out the link in the description below to go to Empirical Health. Ask your practitioner about it. I've tried to make this video a little bit informative about different kinds of herbs, using this as a product promotion. So yes, it's a promotional video, but I hope it still brought some value to you. And as an emerging practitioner, let's say, like if you're a herbalist, these are the kind of things that you kind of need to know. And it can be really hard, especially now at the moment, like with COVID, like you can't go to these fairs and festivals as easily. You can't see people in person, talk face to face. So you're kind of relying on this kind of stuff to help you. So thanks Simon for your gift box. That was it's very nice. And I hope you're doing well, and I'll see you again on the next video.